Hey guys, good Tuesday evening to you. How are you? It is good to see you. It is good to be seen by you. And of course, by that I mean it's good to see you in the swamps of southern Louisiana. How are you? Of course, I am your Dungeon Delver, the host, and I hope you're having an absolutely wonderful evening. Of course, we're starting at 8:30 tonight because I don't really have a lot of preambulatory kind of stuff. But I hope everything is going swell for you guys tonight. I do want to address something because I saw some comments in the stream last night, and I saw some comments on the video. It was one of the more commented videos that I've actually had lately, as far as comments underneath. Okay, first of all, I wasn't baiting about my thoughts on Gamma World Friday. Okay, I didn't just throw that out there like, well, I'll tell them it's going away. And then, I was not, how should we say, I was not, I was not McRibbing you guys about that, if you will. Okay. It's a serious consideration to add or remove features to the show lineup for you guys. And so I wasn't just like, I'm going to tell them it's going to go away and that'll get more people to watch. It just bombed hard on Friday. So I kind of took a step back, but I always want to bring it to you guys because I do the stream for you guys. Okay. I do it for you guys. If there was one of you, if there's 5,000 of you, which we're kind of approaching, we're 4781 today, or 4681. The 4681 or 4781. I don't remember. I'd have to go look. But Knowles armed with spears are close by. Kobold on a stick. Absolutely, J Raid. So I don't I don't want to just yeet it out of there. It may have literally been coming off of a vacation week. I didn't do much in the way of live streaming last week. I mean, I had a couple of videos I put up, right? So I'm not basing go, no go on a single show. And I'm also not baiting. I'm not over here saying, well, I guess if you guys don't want this, I'll just throw it away. It's like, our Gen X parents might do. No, I literally, I value y'all's input. I do. I absolutely do. And in valuing your input, of course, I have to take a lot of things into consideration. I have to kind of sit back and go, what would be best for the show, right? Because if I put a poll out there and I got 150 votes, which is about the level of engagement you get on YouTube, you get something like 5 to 10% of your audience. And if you don't believe me, go look at the community section, find a YouTuber who's got millions of subscribers. All right. Now you might look at all the responses to a poll or comment or an update or something like that. And you might say, please stop. You might say, I see 50,000 people have commented on this and voted on this and that sort of thing. That's insignificant to a YouTuber that has millions of voters. So I will put into thought, if it really starts to trend down, I'll come to you guys and I'll ask you, Are you interested in this? Are you not interested in this? And the 20 or so of you that are like, yes, no, we love Gamma World Friday, please keep it. There might be 150 people come back and say, I really don't care for it. It's the low point of the week. I don't even watch your show then. And at that point, I got to kind of take a look at it. But right now, it's fine, as it were. It's fine, and it's not going away. It was just concerning, is all. Do you follow me? So I'm not, I'm not getting rid of Gamma World Friday. It's just one of those thoughts that crosses the creative mind when you see something that is kind of sinking a little bit. You think, well, maybe I should change it up. And that's all it was, because again, I'm front facing. Okay. And I was asking my daughter, there's a YouTuber that my daughter and I watch, and her name is Jaden Animations. It's very twee. It's very cute. She makes little cartoons, little slice of life things. And she's as passionate about Pokemon as I am about AD&D. So make of that what you will. No, we won't have more Borg Fridays. Nice try, Dave. But they're animated cartoons. There are animated cartoons that run from like 15 minutes to a half an hour to 45 minutes. And the output of them is really, really quite small. And I said, well, I can't blame her. She's just one person. And my daughter said, no, she's got a studio of like 15 people who do them. Ah, I see. Well, here's the thing. I don't have a studio. I have very helpful people out there in the audience who step up. But when it comes to day-to-day operations and that sort of thing, it's just me. It's literally just me. So if you ever look at this and think, wow, that must be a massive studio, and somebody comes in and does his lighting and that sort of thing, particularly if you're new here, like if you haven't really gotten a slice, it really isn't. I am in a deconverted garage or a converted garage. The wall is 5 feet in that direction and 4 feet in that direction. If that, I'm in a tiny. Doomsword knows. Doomsword's been here. Okay, this is not some major production. So, in changing things up for the show, when and how I do them, it's all me. I don't have an analytics person. I don't have an audience and or rather social media engagement person. I don't have a Discord manager. It's just me. So, I just put everything out there. You guys get it unfiltered from me. If I'm angry about something and I'm yelling, it's not a bit. Right? If I'm happy about something, it's not a bit. I bawled tonight. A bunch of you guys revealed to me that you were going to send me to Gary Con, that you're sending me to an Alabama football game, and that all that's covered. Okay, that was not a gag. That was not like, I knew this was, I had my suspicions because, Bluto asking me when you travel, do you travel as William or Bill? What's your date of birth? If you were to get to go on a long trip, would your wife want to come with that? I mean, stuff I suspected. Highly suspect, right? But the point is, of all this ramble, is that you guys get the unfiltered me. All right. My brain, my mouth, into camera, TCP/IP through the 7-layer stack. Again, that's Doomsword knows what I'm talking about. A lot of you guys probably do. And then out of your computer or out of your mobile device. That's the process. There's no... So I come to you guys when I need to know things about the show. Because I know as I am giving it to you unfiltered, I'm getting it back from you unfiltered. I've had people angrily unsubscribe from me, and they've reached out to me and they've said personally hurtful things to me about why they didn't want to watch the show anymore. But they didn't get a form letter back, and they know that they reached me. I'm sorry it went down like that. Okay? But it doesn't like go to readers and we have a meeting or anything. This is a little inside baseball. So I know I can come to you guys, and you guys know you can come to me. CJ, welcome. Happy to salute, CJ. Welcome to the show. It's good to see you. And as a newcomer to the show, of course, we have a little tradition. Everybody let CJ know how to do a super chat. No, I'm kidding. I kid about the super chats. When people do, it's wonderful. When people hang out and say they like the show, it's wonderful. Yorkin, thank you very much. Welcome. But I like all of you guys that stick around and want to watch the show. I like all of you. You're my people. You're my D&D people. Whether you watch the short bite news programs that I do, like the 7 to 15 minute videos where, Wizards just released a 5e supplement, Punch a Baby. In the kingdom of Punch a Baby, characters punch babies. I'm going to do a news video on that. I'm sorry. You might say that was never released for AD&D. It's not relevant to us. Thank you, Yorkin. I like it. What I have, my setup here is I have this camera. We're going to be returning to a lot more stuff out there on the table. The table out there is still covered with convention stuff that I need to get mailed out to people. But so I have a camera here that I use for that purpose and other purposes. I've got another one just like it, courtesy of Jack Photon, who is a great contributor to the program. Jack is an awesome dude, and I really appreciate his input. I have so many cool things behind me, from guests okay, so I gotta tell you guys this, because you guys can see the OD&D white box. I have to tell you this story. There are folks in the audience who don't know this story. Some of you may know this story. So I had 3 giant totes, 3 giant plastic totes, the 44-gallon totes or 27-gallon totes. You know the one I'm talking about. Yellow lid, black tub. You'll find the yellow lids along the highways and byways of America when they get blown out of handyman's trucks. I had a bunch of those full of RPG materials, some rare, some not. A lot of 5e stuff that I'd gotten, and I wanted to kind of piecemeal get rid of it. It had all been donated to me. I was voluntold that I was going to take this donation. So I wound up with a mountain of present, current day pen and paper. Hello, Vaughn Gifford. RPG material that I didn't... Kabuki, Punch a Baby, next town over from Humpa Bear. And both of them have coffee shops in them that D&D baristas work at. But anyway, so I sold all that to someone. I will let them remain anonymous unless they ping me and say, no, you can say who it was. So This person came over to my house. I dragged 2 totes out. We loaded the totes into his truck because a tote full of books is heavy, and this will become relevant in just a few minutes. We loaded the stuff up into his car, hung out, said our goodbyes. He took off. He calls me that night. One of these totes is full of actual garbage, like board game trash and, half destroyed books and that sort of thing. And I immediately ran over here, and the location is relevant, and grabbed what I thought was a tote full of things I wanted to keep. It was one of the 2 totes that he actually purchased from me. And I was shocked. I was devastated. And so I begged his forgiveness, because this is no small amount of money. Let me be 100% clear. To me, it was no small amount of money, and I felt horrible. Like, if I had gone to someone's house and paid that amount of money and got home and half of what I had paid for wasn't, I wouldn't have been like, hey, could you double check? He pinged me after midnight because we're both night owls, and I would have been furious. So he pinged me on Discord and said, could you, and I was like, oh my, and he said, look, don't worry about it. I'll be back over there next week and I'll get it then. It's not a problem. I wasn't going to let this oppression stand. I got the tote, and I wish I could show you guys how little space I have here. I'm in essentially a 10 by 10 room that has a 5-foot diameter wooden table in it. You do the math, and the table is kind of in the center. You do the math on how much room that leaves me to maneuver around. So I'm picking up a tote that weighs about 60 or 70 pounds full of books. And I'm moving it along the wall, along the brick outer wall. I'm kind of scooting, picking it up, scoot, pick up, scoot, pick up, scoot, trip, drop tote on my foot. Now, this table was close enough to that wall that I was essentially trapped. My legs were essentially trapped between the table and the tote. I couldn't pull my feet out from under it, but I'm falling. I stick my hands out to stop from falling, and in doing so, I crush my original AD&D set. Now, it didn't like ball it up, didn't like crumple it up. Okay. It squashed in the top, and old cardboard tends to break. Old pasteboard and cardboard doesn't crease like paper. It tends to break because it's old and dry. And so I wound up with a rip down the side of it because and it tore the paper. And I felt terrible. I almost damaged my Darth Vader standee, which some of you guys going way back have seen. But I got the gosh darn tote squared away. I still have a bruise under my right foot, big toenail, which it's now scooted like halfway up into the middle of my toenail. I figure by January, because that's when this happened, it should be completely to the end of my toenail. But so all this goes down, and I can't do anything but laugh about it. And I'm telling the person what happened. And he says to me, "That's horrible. I feel terrible about that. I'm going to bring you an OCE box. You'll keep the books are okay, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, no, the books are fine. It just the lid got squashed in some." He said, "All right, I'll bring you one of mine and we can just swap boxes." That's the kind of people you guys are. That's the kind of audience I've got. You know, like I said, every once in a blue moon, somebody decides that I've said or done something that is so egregious that not only do they leave as a fan, but they rage quit, right? You know, like I said, I've had people message me and told me that I'm horrible for having said or done the things that I've said and done. I think some of the more like funny ones are when people say that, you know, I've quit being the classic Dungeons and Dragons guy. Like, oh, you've betrayed what you started out as, Bill. You're just chasing the algorithm now. No, I'm not. I'm really not. Because what Wizards of the Coast does can really affect us all. But the point behind it all is that you guys are just damn awesome. Give yourselves a pat on the back. Give yourselves a round of applause. I would do this if there was one person out there. Let me tell you, because we have new folks who may have just come here. Let me tell you what I do and why I do it. Middle of March 2020, suddenly we couldn't go to comic shops. We were being advised not to go to our friends and relatives' houses or have them come to our place. A lot of my fellow nerds, regardless of what version of D&D you play, whether you play white box only, white box plus supplements, any of the 5 flavors of basic, rules compendium, first edition AD&D, second edition AD&D, D&D 3, D&D 3.5, 4th edition, 5th edition, Pathfinder, Hero System, Spawn of Fashan, whatever you did, that just stopped. And I know a lot of people who were hurting. They were by themselves. We were shut in our houses. I mean, there was crap being posted on news websites saying, you know, this stuff can just come down in the rain. Does it carry on the wind? It was getting like Omega Man level. Like, have you ever seen the opening part of Charlton Heston's The Omega Man? Hey, Jimmy. Thank you for the super. And here I thought someone said something about the bear thing. No, I haven't had anyone rage about the bear thing. But anyway, I don't keep too long because at 9 o'clock we're going to be playing AD&D. Thank you very much for the super chat, Jimmy. That was very, very nice of you. But regardless of what you did, you couldn't do it anymore. Now, it sucked for me, but since 2014, my biggest AD&D group had been online. I knew how to do it. I knew how to mesh Discord and or other voice over IP and video over IP and Roll20. I had it down to a science. I had a webcam. I had a microphone, this microphone, not this setup. So I sat over there in front of my computer and I did Facebook Live in the middle of the day. And I just talked to people and I said, hey, I'm here. If you just need to hear a human voice, a live human voice that isn't TV, that isn't a pre-recorded YouTube video, I'm here. And I told people, here's what you can do. You don't have to quit playing D&D. If you've got a mobile phone that can get on the internet, you can still play D&D with your friends. If the dungeon master is technophobic or can't figure it out, and you still want to play Step Up, if you don't want a dungeon master, I can help you find resources. If your dungeon master does want to do it but doesn't know how to do it, or if you want to do it and you don't know how to do it, I'll tell you how to do it. I just wanted to be there for people. And there were days when I would do my little talks when I would see one person. A big day was when it had 8 or 9 people watching me just do these streams. but I knew that someone who they couldn't go to the comic shop, they couldn't go to the game store, they couldn't go over to their friend's house, they could at least hear a friendly voice, right? And I said then, and I'll say it now, and I'll say it literally until, I don't know, YouTube stops. I finally succumb to old age, cancer, whatever, heart attack. If there's one person out there, one person in the audience who needs to hear somebody just laughing and goofing and talking about something that they enjoy, and it's something that you enjoy too, I will be here. I'd be sad if I woke up tomorrow and I saw that my channel had imploded. But I'd still do it. I'd still get up and I'd still do it. So that is what we're about. I promote positivity in tabletop role-playing game. I talk about the negativity because I don't want you to step in it. It's not constantly being negative. I mean, if you go to the park and you got your kids and there's there's a few piles of dog poop out there, and you say, oh, Jimmy, be careful. Don't step in that. Oh, Mary, honey, over by the slide there, be careful. That you're not being negative about the park. You're not being Mr. Negativity. Nobody's going to run up and say, you're ruining the whole park. You're just pointing out the bad stuff that you don't want people to step in. I already stepped in it, so you don't have to. I'm over here scraping my shoe off on the sidewalk, That's just what I do, But the rest of the time, I'm on the jungle gym with the rest of you monkeys. And we're having a lot of fun. And that's what I seek to do. Well, you're darn right, Vaughn. AD&D is my jam. It's what I do. It's what I love. AD&D is where the black magic is. It's like Led Zeppelin and Black Sabbath, borrowing a little bit from here and there. Not perfect, but they bring it together in such a great fusion. AD&D is the Dungeons and Dragons of drow torture parlors and drug dens, and it's the D&D of pentagrams and demons and devils. It's the D&D that that expanded our horizons. It dared us to take a bite of the apple and see eternity. It's the Dungeons and Dragons where Gary wasn't afraid to tell us that orcs are fecund and send us running for the dictionary because we wanted to know what fecund meant. It is where the black magic is. And it is the D&D that I want to play. Now, before anyone starts sending me any Baphomet artwork or anything like that, within the context of D&D. Okay, let's be 100% clear. I don't want Dungeon Minister asking to do a live stream so he can do a surprise intervention on me. But that is what I love about AD&D. It's gritty and it's weird, and it embraces all the cool stuff from Howard and Tolkien and Leiber and Lynn Carter and Lovecraft and Robert Chambers and so many other authors, and then throws it into a box and says, here's your toolkit. Go ahead. No, there's no skill systems. I'm just assuming that characters know how to swim, climb a tree, start a fire, catch a fish, shoot an arrow through a squirrel, run their mouths well enough to get a discount on a horse, all that sort of thing. That's what I love about AD&D, because it pulls no punches, and it's just so much fun. And those 3 glorious volumes, I know there's more than 3, but come on. If someone Thanos snapped all the other books out of existence for AD&D, except for the Dungeon Master's Guide, the Monster Manual, and the Player's Handbook, would you stop playing? Would you say that the game was now incomplete? No, of course you wouldn't. And I wouldn't either. And that's why we're going to play some first edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons right here, right now on this very live stream. So let me don my headphones and let me say hey to Grimsby, as played by Mark.
Hello.
No.
Vrogdorn, played by Doomsword Deathmaster. I'm not sure which is the
What's
best.
up, guys?
Mobius, playing Daron. Kevin, playing Tonstal.
Hello, YouTubes.
And, of course, the game wouldn't be complete without TK as Sir Standard.
Hey, y'all.
All right. Well, welcome back, everyone. I hope you had an exciting, relaxing couple of weeks off.
Yeah, how long's it been? It's been like 3 for me, I think. Something like that.
TK's been on vacation, but I took a week off, and then the week of July 4th. Well, July 4th fell on a Tuesday, so I just chilled out. We watched the 4th from DC on PBS, as is tradition, and then we just kind of rolled with a little bit of an open chit chat. So it's been a good couple of weeks, but let's get down to it. By the way, Mark, that is a very fetching T-shirt.
Yes, I am quite happy with the Errol Otis shirt.
That's
badass.
Glorious T-shirt.
Only one small complaint. It's a large because I am large this way, not large this way, and it goes a bit low. The print goes down kind of far.
Well, that's good. You can plumb in that thing.
There you go.
Yeah, it covers the back.
Yeah, they're just hem it.
You've got a great old one fondling. Never mind.
Yeah, nope.
Where does that tentacle go?
No.
Everywhere.
Let us follow
Everywhere.
it.
Anywhere it wants. Okay. Vaughn wants to know if Doomsword is from Shadiversity. No. As far as I'm aware, Doomsword does not participate in the Shadiversity web channel. Although Doomsword is starting his own YouTube channel, and we all look forward to that. And I fully expect everyone to subscribe when it goes live. So you let us know.
What?
Yeah.
Dane's got a channel too.
No.
Cool. Thanks for the shout out.
Oh, that's
Yes,
right.
sir.
Dane has a channel too. You've got a couple of videos, don't you?
Yeah, D and Disability. So it's all about accessibility in role-playing games and how to make our tables more mindful of our players.
Share me that in the green room, and I'll put it up on the screen. It's another great YouTube channel that you guys should absolutely check out.
This week's video is on magic and how I handle it as a player.
Well, there you go. But anyway, yeah, get that pasted in the back room, and I will share that out. All right, so it's been a fortnight for the group. Last you'd squared up against some goblins, and then you'd headed back to the keep for some healing up. I had given out XP, and so what are your plans then, adventurers?
So right, we basically eliminated the kobolds, at least as far as we could tell, right?
As far as you can tell, you have dealt the kobolds a permanent setback.
Cool.
There are no additional caves, doorways, anything that you could find in the kobold areas. You have relieved them of a not inconsiderable bit of coin. Your men-at-arms stood tall with you, and have decided they will continue to accompany your band as you go further into the caves of chaos. You have again returned to the keep itself.
Finkel and Thrud didn't quit? Man, call me surprised. I lost that bet.
No, they decided to stick around. We paid them good last time.
Yes, indeed.
So, straight to the end.
All right, so having seen the sorcery of flasks of oil, burning flasks of oil in action, Vrug would like to buy a couple of those from the keep, if you would, kind sir.
They will not light them on fire for you. You will need to do that yourself. Does Vrug in fact have a flint and tinderbox?
Tinderbox with flint and steel, yes.
Doesn't everybody?
Yes.
We
Okay.
could.
They should.
So, a flask of oil is 1 gold piece, and there are ample flasks for sale.
I'll go ahead and buy 2.
York, thank you
give the
very
guy a couple gold pieces.
I use all
Thanks.
I'll buy another as well.
Alrighty.
Do I need any more? Let me see. I need to refill on mine, but they're just a gold piece apiece, so.
And for my part, Bill, those are stored. They will be stored in my backpack along with my flint and tinder.
Okay. Now, in case anyone is curious, any of my players are curious, and something I do want to mention to the audience, if you're unfamiliar with Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, we don't just do these streams. This isn't just, like so many other streams where you just sit and watch us play. Ask questions, and I'll do my best to answer it about why a character is doing this, why I said that, why specific dice were rolled, and we'll do our level best to explain it as we go. This being one of those learning moments for our audience's participation, and as a refresher for the players, it does take a full round. So if you say, I'm going to throw a flask, I'm going to, light a flask of oil and throw it like a Molotov cocktail, your entire round is getting your oil out of your pack, your side pouch, whatever, and preparing it. It is then thrown in the missile fire portion of combat in the next round as a grenade-like weapon. And Mark slipped off the internet, but we've got you back now, Mark. And yes, make jokes, poke fun. Orbital has got the right of it. Okay. If you are talking, you are muted. Doomsword, your mic is muted. So is yours, Mark.
I was not.
Grimsby, I guess, was not paying attention, i.e. the player lost network. Are we going back to the caverns? Do we have a plan?
I think so.
Cool.
I think we're headed back to the caverns at this point.
Different cave.
Yeah. Right. I mean, I think I don't know which cavern we're going to. I don't think we've decided that.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's that or start trouble in town, and I'd prefer to not start trouble in town.
That's when I found the estate could be traversed 180 degrees.
Can't wait to see Frank at the tavern.
Why's it got to be Frank? I don't like Franks.
Okay. So to the caves you are headed then, redoubtable adventurers.
Tally ho.
Yep.
Just so.
All right. So nothing untowards comes up as you journey along your way to the caves. And for those of you unfamiliar, this module, Keep on the Borderlands, is one of the foundational Advanced Dungeons and Dragons modules, and it can be run for Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, which is how we do it around here, but it works for so many other systems. TK, you run it. You've run this module in Morkborg, I believe, haven't you?
I have run this module in Basic Fantasy. I have run it in. I have not. I run it in my own home system, Staff Plaga, but I have not yet run it in Morkborg. I should. It'd be fun.
Yeah, it is an exceptionally flexible module. Anyway, so you arrive at the ravine. It is much as you had left it before. Twisted, stunted trees, stands and copse dot the bottom of the ravine. The eerie caw of crows as you enter, the sunlight dimly filtering down from above. All along, honeycombed, evil-looking caves peer out at you like dead-eye sockets. On the lowermost level, without assailing any of the hills, you have a cave to the left, which you had explored before, and Grimsby had found a pretty nest of goblins and wolves.
Mm-hmm.
There is a copse of trees to the northwest of that, following the southern wall, where you think you can espy another cave. Of course, there is the cave where you dealt the kobolds a resounding blow. And then at the far end of the ravine, where it curves into a blunt point, there is another great stand of trees. You're not sure if there's a cave down there. You'd have to explore. So, what to do, adventurers?
What does the tiny one think?
You talking to me?
It's the only tiny one I see. Well, I guess most of the rest of the year tiny a bit as well.
Well, the kobolds are pretty easy after all. I think there's some. Do I spy some caves above them? Maybe there's bigger kobolds above.
There might be, but I wouldn't mind stomping a goblin skull.
Then let's go to the goblins. They can't have that many more wolves, could they?
You think you can draw them out?
I could ask nicely.
So what's this about goblins? I have sudden onset amnesia.
I don't think you were with us at the time, but
That
over
was
here
quite
on the
odd.
left, there's some goblins. I went in. I spied some goblins. They spied me. I backed away, and then I found their wolves. But we dealt with them pretty well. Unfortunately, that's, I think, where an Elmer died.
Yes.
Elmer, last we knew not quite as well as we should have.
Yeah. But goblins are right over there.
Well, I suppose now that I'm here, I might be able to knock a few of them out. We'll see.
Yeah. I could go back in and see if I could figure out where they were. I seem to remember going in over there and then went up a little passage and there were some goblins up there. Came back and looked on the other side, but that's where the wolves were.
Were there any pit traps as you went in?
Not that tripped off for me, so I think it's safe.
Okay. Well, shall we follow the wee Irishman?
But he's Irish.
How many men-at-arms we got still?
2.
2?
Yep.
They're stout
One.
lads.
2.
And just remember, if there are women and children this time, I'm locking you in the room with them.
So what are we supposed to do with these women and children? They're all evil in the first place, right? What do? We let them go?
No, just don't try and beat them up if they outnumber us 4-1.
No, well, that might be a
Good
fair
point.
point.
So, getting back to what I know, let me turn my memory around so I can read my map. If I walk in here, I come to a 4-way intersection. Straight ahead is a dead end. Off to the left, there's a bit of a fork. I think one of them's dead end. One of them goes up, and then there's a bunch of goblins that were up there. Over to the right, it went down a little ways, and there was, I think, two ways. And that's when I spied the wolves, and I came running back up.
Did you check those dead ends for secret doors?
No, I wasn't looking for those at the time.
You want me to go in with you, and while you check the other ways, I can at least check those for secret doors.
Sounds fine to me.
All right. Sounds like a plan then.
But if I go on well enough ahead, I have a tendency not to be heard as much as you people stomping about.
Yep. I am in leather armor, if that helps.
Maybe? I'm sorry, TK. Are you playing an elf?
Yes, I am.
Oh, so you're also pretty sneaky.
Yes, I am.
Up ahead of people. Okay.
Yep,
So
I'm an elf fighter magic user.
Yeah. Okay. So we both are probably can stay out ahead of. We can get that surprise bonus. Awesome.
I'll wait out here while you terrify them out.
Yeah. You wait here. We'll flush them out. It's a good way of getting. We'll flush out the animals, and you can trap them.
Yeah, fair enough.
Don't mix in with the wolves if we can avoid that.
Worst comes
Me and
to
Brew
worst.
could just sit on each side of the cave and just like wait.
Yep. Worst comes to worst, I cast sleep and we run away.
That didn't work last time, but that's because there was just too many.
So anyway, shall we go in?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll take the north, or Vrug will take the north side, or the west side, or whatever it would be
Sure,
of that
east is
cave.
good.
Yeah, and I'll
east
make sure to have my
is-
weapon at the ready. If anything comes flying out that doesn't look like the little guy or the elf, the other little guy, I'm gonna hack it in half.
Yeah. Just swing your sword at a
this
certain
cheap
height, and you'll go right over my head. You'll be fine.
Oh, that's a good point. What do you want them men at arms to do, TK?
Just make sure that height is above 5 feet because I don't want to lose my head. As far as the men at arms, I think they should stay out with you. Go ahead and get ready to impale pretty much, or actually get ready with flaming oil. I think. How's that sound? Does anybody object to that? Giving them each a bottle of oil and saying Godspeed.
Fun by me.
Okay,
Cool.
Yeah, it works for me.
Um,
And then Tonstal has proven to be a true warrior in battle, West AE.
I'll block some in from the other side, or from in front, as far as I'm concerned. I could take a hit or two.
I can take exactly one.
I
I'm
take a
not
haul
planning
from
on
my
taking
wall
any
mine
hits.
skin and
Can we go?
offer it to Brug and throw it over.
Yeah, I'm hoping not to take any. Oh, dang it. That was one thing I did ask about last time, but I wasn't here. That's okay. I was going to ask about buying some mail, but I'll do it next, or buying some, not mail, splint mail. But, I'll worry about that next time.
All right.
I think the plan, as far as a plan that we have, is for Grimsby and Sir Standard to enter the Goblin Cave.
Yep.
Okay, do you have a particular marching order, or are you just going shoulder to shoulder?
My shoulder to his waist, I think.
Pretty much, yeah. I am an elf in leather. I don't know if that matters. So I have a dex of 16 if that also helps.
Okay, what is Grimsby wearing?
Leather armor. He
Already.
moves quite lightly.
Very well.
I'm hoping
So-
for that sweet surprise bonus.
Both of you having your leather armor and your light feet about yourselves, tread into the cave. You make it about 30 feet in when off to your right, you hear the approach of hobnailed boots and the flap of feet on the ground. You are not surprised by this. And you must have you must have been making at least a little bit of noise, because the goblins that you can see coming from that direction, that number 6, are not surprised by it either. What do you wish to do?
Grimsby's going to yell out something vaguely rude about their mothers in Goblin and run back out the door.
All right. And what about Standard?
I'm going to drop a bag of marbles and run out the door.
Okay. Let's then go ahead and roll initiative, and I will say, Sir Standard, please roll a d6.
Sure. Let's see.
The goblins rolled a 2. The party 1. They rush up to you with weapons drawn, and not knowing who you are. Yeah, they're rather angry, and Grimsby, as you speak Goblin, when they rush up, they're shouting, "Hey, you! Stop! Stop where you are! Do not take another step!" And the others are shouting similar things with their weapons drawn, and some are like, "Why are you telling them to stop? You are not the leader. He is the leader. Not for long. I will clout him. Not now." So they spend their round closing up to you as you're fishing out your bag of marbles, and you're yelling something about their mothers. They clearly didn't like it. Now you guys can act. Grimsby, you said you are yelling and turning and running, correct?
Yes.
All right. You are spilling your marbles and turning and running, correct, Sir Standard?
Yep.
Alrighty. Let's roll initiative then for the next round.
Mark, you want to go ahead?
Yeah. Let's see. How
Mark, roll.
do.
It is a tie. As you turn to flee and you're dumping your marbles and running on. I'm sorry, it was not a tie. I got a 6. I saw it like bump over on the 3 as it was rolling, and I was like, oh, it's going to be a tie. Okay. So the front 3 goblins are thrusting at you with their spears as you're fleeing, but you had already turned to run, so you've got a good bit of distance on them. So let's see. Alas, Grimsby, you are taking a spear thrust to the back.
Ouch.
For 5 points of damage. Split!
Ooh. Ow.
Are you still alive?
No. I'm at negative
no.
2.
Oh, no. Well, you're not dead. You're just bleeding out. So Grimsby...
I'm just mostly dead.
Yeah, there's a spray of head cheese on you as you go sprinting out. The goblins are unable to pursue you because I'm going to give them all, the front 3 goblins are going to have to make saving throws versus paralysis. One of them sees the marbles and leaps over it, so he will be able to pursue you, but the others are slipping and falling. And the remainder, let's see. So 2 goblins did not slip on your marbles, but the rest are crashing and falling to the floor. Do you wish to try and seize Grimsby so you can drag him out with you?
Yeah, if I can.
Oh yeah. He's a halfling, and you have a what is your strength?
17.
Oh yeah.
I turned to Brug and I'm like, I think I hear them coming.
So
I do too.
You have Standard running out, and you have Grimsby on a stick.
Literally. I feel like I'm carrying Grimsby still on the stick.
That's fine. Just gently, you don't want to accidentally bisect him on the spear.
I have a halfling as a hobo sack.
We'll make a fire later. Kill the goblins.
Oh, my halfling fell into the fire. It's okay. I got another pack of them over here.
Hey, give me the leg meat.
Knock the ashes off. Okay, so Grimsby is down. you see a couple of goblins. They're kind of squinting, and they see they're about 30 feet behind as they rush out into the ravine. They kind of blink to adjust to the light, and they see your group. So let's get declarations. Mark, is Grimsby going to continue to bleed?
Bleeding, sir.
Okay. How about Vrug? What is Vrug doing?
Yeah, assuming I'm in engagement reach, I'm going to attack the first one, the one closest to me.
Yes, you're out of doors, so it now comes to yards, not feet. So you can absolutely close and destroy, as they say in the military. Duran, it's time to destroy.
He wants to whap the closest goblin's skull wide open.
Okay.
Staff.
Sir Standard, are you turning in fighting?
I will stabilize the thief.
Excellent. Kevin, what about Tonstall?
I'm stabbing and slashing.
Alrighty.
My men-at-arms will apply oil, though.
Okay, men-at-arms are going to be throwing oil. Well, they're getting their oil out. They're getting the flasks ready in this round. So let's go ahead and roll initiative, and we'll just start. I think. How about
Forge, I think.
Yeah, go ahead and roll that for me there, Doomsword.
Oh, I was right. That is Doomsword below mark. Okay.
Okay, the goblins.
Cheater! It was a 1.
59, dude.
Yes, the goblins. Yeah, they took down your halfling. What are? Well, they're clearly outnumbered. Yeah, they realize they've been schnookered. So the goblins turn on their heels and are going to attempt to flee. And because you're striking at them, much as poor Grimsby was struck, you are striking fleeing foes. Any melee attacks on them come at +4. So let's start with Vrug.
Where are they running, into the bush?
They're heading back into the caves.
They're heading back into
Brugger
the
in the way.
bubble.
Me and Brugger in the way. How are they going to get past us?
Well, they can't. So they're still trying to run away.
All right, here's a D20 +4. 7.
7. You have
I'm
no
afraid
strength.
that's not going to do it. I do have a strength bonus. Apologies, I should have done +6.
Okay.
So that's going to be a total of 9. That's going to hit AC 11, which is a miss.
Yeah.
What's that +4 from? Holy, dear God.
Okay. How about Duran?
That sounds like 2 dice.
That will hit. That is not 2 dice. That is 1 dice, and you hit.
Oh, nice. Okay, so trying to take them out in the knee or the legs.
All right. Roll your damage. One. Okay. He howls in pain.
Stub his toe.
Okay. Sir Standard is stabilizing Tonstall.
So the bonus is +4 or +1?
It is +4.
Okay, so then
You're
I have.
striking their backs.
Okay, so I got +1 for my strength. Then I also get +1 dwarf against goblins, so it should be +6.
Yes, your total is +6.
And I got a
That's
12.
where that came from.
That's a 12, and your 12 hits armor class 8. And these goblins, these gobos, let's see. Sorry, folks. The PDF zooms out when I move from. Let's see. That will miss. That actually just catches his armor. Realizing that they are cut off from going in the caves, they then flee into the heavy thicket, and you could hear them crunching and crashing, and they are They are yelling out. Now, does anyone else here speak Goblin?
Nope.
I do. Ton still does.
Okay. They are yelling out, Grignac! Grignac, honor your debt! Help us! Help us!
Uh-oh.
I don't like the sound of that.
You ridiculous weaklings! Return to face your foes and die!
If you're yelling at goblins to turn and fight, I think you're fighting a losing battle.
I'm fine with it. I just want to be rude to them. Don't return. I don't care.
Okay, so
Is Grimsby stable?
Never
Oh,
knew Goblin to have friends. Does
we
anybody?
got Grimsby bandaged up. So you guys have got a minute or two. The men at arms actually, the men at arms were getting their flasks ready, and they see that the hobgoblins the goblins, not hobgoblins, the goblins have fled a great distance, and they're like,
Just hang on to them. You might need them here in a minute.
"Hi, Captain." All right, so we'll start at the top of the party. What the conscious party? What is Vrug doing?
Was Grimsby below 0? I'm assuming.
Yes. Grimsby was knocked to -2.
Okay, so the goblins ran off. They called for Grishnak.
Grignac.
I'm just going to ready my weapon and stand and see what happens. Assuming no threat from the cave coming in my direction. I don't really have an action.
How about it?
I'm not chasing them.
Sir Standard.
I'm gonna start pinging them with my short bow.
Okay. Tonstol.
Yeah, they're out of range now, but I'm concerned about the cave opening, so I'm going to make sure I'm watching it.
All right. And Duran, Mobius, did I ask you?
Duran's walking over to Grimsby and checking out his wounds, telling him to be more careful and cure some light wounds on him.
Okay, so you're casting Cure Light Wounds.
Yep.
That will take an entire round. Why don't you go ahead and roll a d8 for me?
Will do.
Exactly how far away are the goblins, by the way?
They have moved. Let me see. They have moved all the way to the suspected cave mouth up on the left-hand side. You cannot immediately see them. So yes, Mark Grimsby is completely healed. You, however, will still be unconscious because of the seriousness of your wounds for a while yet. And this is measured in turns, by the way. In AD&D, if you're not familiar with it, listeners, so 2 turns or 20 minutes or 20 combat rounds. I know some of our viewers might think that, well, AD&D is where, when you hit 0 hit points, you die, but there's actually a few different options for death and dying in AD&D, and I prefer a slightly more heroic, but not quite the endless do-overs of later editions. Okay, so you're all standing there. You've healed Grimsby. You see the wounds supplicate and close. His breathing becomes steady again. Grimsby, you're still, of course, dreaming of your homeland, mother's cooking, your toes in the stream, and that sort of thing. But you're moving away from the light. So, moving down from the northwest towards you, you see a large, perhaps 8 or 9 foot tall humanoid form wearing filthy hide clothes. He's got kind of yellowish skin, crooked teeth, disgusting, stringy hair. And he moves to the edge of the wooded area, eyeing you all up, this ogre, and says, "All right, which one of you wants to be first?" And he taps a chopped off bardiche that he's obviously using as a hand weapon in the palm of his hand.
They have an ogre. Well, I'll charge, whatever.
All right, so you're charging with a capital C.
I'm
Yes, sir.
casting Sleep.
You're casting sleep. Okay. Mobius, what about Duran?
Duran's going to cast Bust on the party before everything hits the fan.
Okay. And Kevin, what about Tonstal?
Yeah, he's gonna charge in as well. Hopefully, take this thing off guard before he kicks our ass.
Yeah.
I have a 1 in 2 chance to sleep this ogre, I think. So
Okay. You see two of your friends go charging up to the ogre. And now charges go before initiative. So do you still wish to try and drop sleep on him?
well, I can drop sleep so it only hits the ogre, right?
Yes, actually, you can position it. The old, the first level magic user's fireball, sleep.
So yeah, I know I'm gonna have to move up to do it. So for me, it's basically going to be moving and then cast sleep.
So moving in this round and then casting in the next. Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Those of you who executed charges, please roll your attacks. And remember, you are attacking at +2 due to your charge.
Right, so I'll go ahead and go, and that'll give me a total of +4 due to my strength bonus. Come on, I need this.
Daddy needs a new pair of ogre treasures. That is 14.
AC 6.
That's not bad.
It's not bad. It's not bad. Let's see.
It might make it.
I tend to go by the module and the module settings when appropriate, rather than jump back into deeply into AD&D and modifying it there, because, you know, that's just how I roll. All right, so unfortunately, his tough hide coat turns your blade. It was a solid hit, but it just, his armor is too thick. Roll your attack there.
That's actually an 18 because I got +3.
Yes, you have monster.
+2, +1.
That will hit, and he is a large creature, so.
Yep. I will roll my D12 +2. Well, actually, it's +3. +1, +3.
You're not getting a bonus for damage from your charge.
No, this is strength. I have an 18-22, so it's +3 on damage. So
Nice.
there you go.
Okay, so you slam
9.
your sword into him. He bellows in rage. He did not like that a single bit, so he is rearing back with his weapon to smite you. But now we must roll initiative, and because let's see, so they charged, you're moving up. Duran, Mobius, roll initiative for the party, please. I see a 4. This is a big one. This is an important one.
Hopefully only fighters die.
A 3. So the party will go first. The men-at-arms are yelling to you, Sir Standard. If we throw our oil now, we could burn Vrug and
Don't care. Throw it.
Okay.
If you don't, they're dead. If you do and you miss, they're dead.
Survey says
They're dead.
Okay, there is an 18. That is a hit. So we're going to roll percentile dice, and see. We want big numbers here. We want big numbers on this percentile dice roll.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, great. Full force.
It says 400. That's a lot.
I
All
mean,
right.
either 3, 2, or 1.
1, 2, 3. This is going to be Tonstal. 4, 5, 6. It's going to be Vrug. Tonstal?
I'm immune to fire, right? As a dwarf. Okay, so it was lateral and I caught it. Okay.
Tonstal, you feel the smashing of something on your back, and you are on fire. You are on 6 beautiful points of fire damage. You will take another d6 in the next round.
Ouch.
The other one thrown.
Are they both throwing? Oh no.
Well, the other one missed, but this is for grenade-like weapons.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Ooh, what's a 1 get?
A 1 is going to be forward, and it is going to miss by basically it's over, and it misses. If it misses by 3 feet or less, the ogre will still catch some of the fire damage, which is why it always pays to throw, because even if you miss, you might hit. And in the case of poison, it's very important. All right. That is not the right die, Bill.
So it still might be worth the fighter sacrifice.
It's 2, so he takes 1 to 3 points of damage of fire in this round only.
Half a d6.
3 points of damage. So the ogre has taken a total of 12, and he hates this. And he yells in Goblin, because you have party members who speak Goblin. You lice-infected orange-skinned scum, get out here and help! So coming out of the cave, and they will be in the fight, not in this round, in the next round, but coming out of the cave and running up, you see presumably the 2 goblins that had fled in that direction earlier. In the next round, how many hit points does Tonstal have, Kevin?
He has 6. He went down by half.
Okay, so it could be that you don't take that much damage.
I'm going to stop, drop, and roll as my next act.
Okay, so you're going to try and extinguish your flames.
Yeah. I mean, that's way more dangerous than the ogre. So.
Okay, the men-at-arms see that Sir Standard is raising up. He is waving his hands and gesturing and getting ready to loose a spell, so they will not call out to you. However, they will spend this round moving forward with their spears.
If they didn't, they'd be fired.
If they did, they'd be fired like Tonstal was.
Exactly so. Hey, Mark, will you roll for the 2 men-at-arms for me from here on?
Sure.
Thank you. Okay, what is Duran doing? Duran has cast Bless. The party is under the effect of a Bless spell now.
Since that spell's already went off without a hitch, I'm going to do my last one and cast Light on the ogre.
Going to try to cast light into his eyes. Good call.
Hell, the ogre will be blinded and slept and dead. Okay.
Yes. All right.
Anything worth killing once is worth killing a lot more.
Just so. I wasn't sure what order we were in on the initiative. I think it is actually Sir Standard TK. Roll for initiative, please.
Sure. Let's see.
I have it.
Oh, yeah, that was you. All
And
right.
that's 5. Okay, so the party will act first. Sleep is a 1-segment spell. It goes in the 3rd segment. The men-at-arms get about halfway there. So roll your sleep die.
3 or a 4, and he slept, and he is slept.
Nice.
Boom. Okay. So he has 4 hit dice. So actually, the goblins stay up. The goblins tank, or rather, the ogre tanked all of the sleep juice. So he goes down. The goblins are still up. They look at the ogre, and one of them's like screaming and kicking and yelling, "No time for nap!" Brooke, you're right there.
Oh yeah.
And Tonstal. Oh, it's only a point. Your stop, dropping, and rolling works. So
Okay. Only slept is the website. Only slept.
Yeah, so I can just take this guy out, right?
yes, you can. You will basically. He is slept and prone, so he will take 4 times maximum damage.
All right. Well, I'll look back at the goblin's permanent sleep, and I plunge my longsword straight down through the ogre's chest.
All right.
And
We're just.
And I stopped.
who wants some?
I'm sorry. What was that, Mobius?
I said, and Daron stops casting.
Okay.
You could blind a goblin. It'd be really funny.
Okay. Tonstal. What
Yes,
do you wish? There's 2 goblins.
Well, if I'm I'm up, or am I still rolling?
Yeah, there's no stop, drop, and roll. It won't help.
Okay.
You'll take damage regardless.
All right, no worries. I wasn't trying to avoid it. I was just trying to be practical. I will attack the goblin.
Roll your attack.
It should be +2 because of my dwarf plus strength.
17 will hit.
19. Yep. These are standard size.
They are, a small, medium.
Yep. Okay, so +3 on damage. It is 4 points.
All right. Roll a d6 to see if this was the goblin that had taken damage from you before or not. It was the goblin that had taken damage from you before. He dies. The remaining one. Okay, the remaining one has wet himself and just drops his sword and holds up his trembling hands and says, "Parlay!" What do you guys wish to do?
Well, not parlay. I can tell you that.
So this thing came from the ogre came from the northwest.
He came
area.
from a cave that you guys can now see. That is kind of it's maybe 20 yards away on your left.
All right, and the goblin cave. Nobody else is coming out, at least at the moment.
No one has come out of the goblin cave yet. No.
What do you want to do?
We should probably parlay.
Well, if he's willing to give us information about useful things, we'll keep him around. Otherwise, I think we should drag him around by his ankles.
Yeah, let's trust him up.
Torture is useful in times of war.
Trust him up.
I'm going to ready my short bow for any that are coming out of the caves. And why don't one of us search the cave that the ogre was in?
I can do that.
Why don't one of us that's actually competent search the cave that the ogre was in?
Well, one of them's burnt up. One of them's dead. And probably both because of you. You want to send a man at arms? Or I guess you could search the cave.
No, we can send the burnt up one. He'll be fine.
Ha!
We could do it, boss. We'll go.
There's no danger. There's no danger in the cave anymore. The danger's dead.
How do you know that?
The danger's dead. His sword. Your sword.
What's to say there's not another one? You know they travel in pairs. It's not some sort of incel or something. You think?
I mean, you're welcome. If you want to go with him, by all means, you go with him. But I'm going to stand out here and stay watch.
Somebody clip that, please. Somebody clip Vroog calling ogres incels. Anyway, all right. So you guys are discussing going into the going into the cave that the ogre came out of.
I'll go with the halfling. He seems to know what he's doing.
Yeah, let's put the halflings together.
Is he awake yet? Go over there and slap him around a little bit.
Man, that guy can't do nothing.
He only had
Yeah, he's toast. We got to go back to the keep for him.
Well, he's still, I don't know, he's still, he'll get up in a few minutes, right?
Yeah, but like no exertion.
Looking around is an exertion. He'll be fine.
Yeah. Grimsby tries not to exert himself at all. Now he is medically incapable of doing so.
We'll have somebody carry Grimsby around like a metal detector. It'll be fine.
Start looking for pointers. What about that? And that?
Okay, so who's going in the cave, please?
I'll go.
Yeah, I'll
Do
go.
you want us to come along, boss?
I'll go with them.
I guess Grimsby will stay and be carried by one of our followers.
All right, this is either a very lazily carved out cave or it is a natural formation. Actually, give me a D6 roll if you would there, Grims. No, I'm sorry, not Grimsby, Tonstall.
Okay.
Which dice do you want?
D6, please.
It is a 4.
Yeah, could just be lazily chipped out. Could be natural, and it has a narrowing about halfway through it that is about 10 feet wide, and it looks like there's more cave beyond it. But in where you are, there is a great, huge, I mean, like big enough for an ogre to comfortably sit on, and given its shape and condition, it probably was. Just a giant burlap sack that this thing was clearly using as some kind of a chair, and next to it is there is a keg, a wooden barrel.
Anything in it?
Hey, look, it's an ogre beanbag.
Yep.
And his booze.
So yes, the keg actually has there's a faint stamp on it and a wax seal around the bung. The wax seal is unbroken, interestingly enough.
Okay.
And the faint stamp that's left on it, it reads Orlane Vineyards.
Cool. We'll roll it out.
It is heavy. It does have something in it.
Cool. We'll roll it out.
Okay.
So
Roll out what? The barrel?
It doesn't like chink or explode, or a dwarf doesn't pop out screaming "Hi, happy birthday" or anything.
No, nothing like that. So, and then you have the bag itself.
You want to kick the bag?
I'll walk up to the bag and push on it just to see if he had somebody captured into it, or maybe there's some sheep. I don't know.
No, there's nothing like that in it. You can hear a faint clink of metal.
Okay.
Darren's gonna go around the back of the cave, checking for secret doors or
Okay, give me. Let's see. Roll a d6, please. And Duran's a human, right?
Correct.
Okay, so you don't find anything. Now, this is taking a while. And as you're spending time checking this out, nothing comes to hunt you. And it's about that time. Let's see. Grimsby, you have returned from the light. It's a little hard to breathe. It kind of feels like you've got brittle sticks in your chest when you breathe. But there is no wound there. But you did see a darkness. It did rush in on you. So Grimsby is now up on his feet. Some of your comrades are there. The men-at-arms are standing over you. Oh, look, he's alive.
Good thing he carries the fate of us all. Not.
The other one snorts and reaches into a pouch and hands the other one a copper piece. Meanwhile, in the cave, as you are looking around for secret doors, of which you don't find any, in the, I guess it would be the southeastern half of the cave, there is a heap of old bones and sticks in one corner.
Looking carefully at the bones, like,
Okay.
like a skeleton? Is it just like a refuse pile?
It's kind of a midden, but you see tossed amongst it, you see a crystal vial with a liquid in it.
Are any of the six wand shaped?
You see a short ivory colored something that could almost certainly be mistaken for a bone, except there are corks driven in the end of it, or in either end of it. And there is a mostly empty quiver of arrows. There are 6 arrows remaining.
Okay, well, I'll reach over and grab those out.
Okay. Meanwhile,
Pick them up, show the guys. Look what I found.
Kevin, you are looking in the bag? Or
Yeah, I'm going to open the bag and try to figure out what's in it.
there are 6 smaller bags than this one, but they're still they're still kind of large, and they're all tied off with lengths of cord.
I think I found the ogre's payroll over here. And
Well-
I'll pick up one of the bags to see if it's coinage or something else.
Well, don't shout about it. Let's take it and get out of here before the rest of the goblins show up.
Okay, so yeah, a couple of the bags. Well, let's see, 1, 2, 3. 5 of the bags very clearly have coins in them. The heaviest amongst them feels like it weighs about 30 pounds. In fact, yeah, all of them seem like they weigh about 30 pounds. And the 6th bag only weighs a couple of pounds. And you can actually tell by the round shape, it's got something about that thick and about that big around in it.
Okay, I'll see if I can open it.
Oh, yeah, you just got to untie the
shield?
Or,
Yeah.
no, it is a cheese.
Oh, that's better than a shield.
It is a wheel of hard cheese.
Nice. Well, I found some food here as well. Anybody care to assist in carrying this? I think it's well worth taking with us.
Sure. I'm gonna help roll out the barrel, but once I've done that, I can help with the bags. I can definitely at least carry 1 or 2. I'm sure Vrug wouldn't mind.
Yeah, no, he wouldn't. He's outside though, keeping an eye on things, so he's not even aware of what's going on there.
Can you shoulder the barrel, Vrug?
You roll that out toward me.
Yeah.
How heavy is it? I think I can carry. Let's see here. I believe I can carry and be encumbered another about 110 pounds.
Yeah, this doesn't weigh anywhere near that. It's maybe 40 pounds. Now, this is in which I show absolutely no knowledge of medieval weights and measures. It is a ton to you. No, it's not a ton. It's a cask.
It's a cask.
Okay. Yeah, there's a big because tons are big, like very,
tons
very,
are the ones
very
that you
big.
can walk into.
Yeah, casks aren't too bad. They're only a couple of gallons.
Okay, yeah. So
At least
And next time you want a feat of strength, bring me something worthy.
all right, so yeah, you shoulder this up, and Vrug, this might actually be worthy. It smells amazing.
You'll be lucky I don't drink it.
Yeah, I know. Sorry. Think of the paycheck that's going to come from selling it.
I'll grab 3
You
of the
can buy
bags.
all
That
as
puts
much
me
cheap
at
stuff as you want. And then before Sir Standard goes back in, I show him these arrows that I found, since he's our resident bowman.
Let's wait for a little bit. I can cast detect magic on all this stuff later. Emphasis on later.
Okay, so adventurers, are you returning to the keep at this point?
Yes.
All right.
How
for sure.
how disoriented is our fallen friend who's just returned?
He's fine. He's just weak. He's gonna have to rest for a while.
All right, yeah.
I can tell you from experience, he's got a hell of a headache.
Luckily, I keep nothing up here.
You can't help the cheese.
Shake him out, see if he's been hiding treasure.
All right. So your journey back to the keep, which you get back, it is mid-afternoon, is uneventful. So what you have in the bags, of course, you have a bag with a hard cheese. You have your cask of fine brandy, you can tell. You have 287 silver pieces in one bag, 182 copper and 91 electrum in another bag, 289 gold pieces in another bag, 303 copper pieces in yet another bag, and 241 gold pieces in the final bag.
This is quite the haul.
It is.
We didn't even go into the Goblin Cave.
Give me, let's see. I'm going to say that both Tonstal and Grimsby, give me a d6 roll.
Okay.
I think 2E used Electrum, but don't quote me on that.
I got a 6.
I got a 2.
Grimsby, something is amiss with that last batch of gold coins. They don't feel right.
I give it the good old, put it between my teeth and bend.
Yeah, there's something about these coins. It's definitely gold, but
I kind of take out one of the daggers and kind of scratch it a little bit.
well, you scrape away a little, it's a little rolled up snot ball of gold off of it, and yeah, these are actually lead coins with a gold wash.
Just don't tell anybody. We'll be fine.
Well,
Use those ones first.
FINED. So
Never trust an ogre.
the probable value, Grimsby, these are probably worth a copper each.
Mm-hmm. They're worth a gold if you don't notice. He's like looking at a few of them, like maybe I'll take a few.
Which ones were those?
Give
What
us
was
a-
the count on those?
Is that the last
241 counterfeit gold pieces.
All right, let me delete that little thing from the chat here
All right.
because I was adding all those. So we'll call that what we just call that 241 lead pieces.
They're worth one for each.
I would say, to be fair, the saintly soul that I am, I would say that we should turn those in and see if we can get a bonus from the local nobility saying, "Hey, we're handing in this inflated currency. We've confiscated it. Can you give us a silver piece each?"
Grimsby's fine with that.
Let's
He
try.
does want to keep a few souvenirs, maybe 2 or 3.
Okay, yeah. But who knows?
Just don't lick 'em.
Maybe.
Keep 10 of them, hit the local arcade, get all the Zaxxon you want for free.
Put a string on them. Never mind.
Ninja Turtles for me.
Nah.
Let's see.
Champions of Mystara, man. That sucker will eat quarters like mad.
It does, yeah. And it's related.
Not on MAME.
There you go. So,
Well, yeah, I'm good with turning it in if that's what the party wants to do.
I don't know. I think it's worth a shot. You know, worst comes to worst, they say no, right? But I mean, hey,
Worst comes to worst, I think we did it.
all right. So silver pieces. Now I'm giving you guys the gold piece value haul of your items. The wheel of cheese will. It's just good hard cheese. I think if we look in the player's handbook under provisions, if we treat that as standard rations for 1 week, you definitely want some bran to go along with that. But if we treat that as standard rations for 1 week, we will call that 3 gold pieces value. If you elect to,
1 week of constipation.
yes. Cooley's been watching MSD3K. Biff hard cheese.
Yes.
Rock strong hard. Brick large huge. All right, so you've got your cheese. The coins is what I'm adding up now.
Did
Silver.
Varuk drink all the brandy before we came back to the keep?
Did Vrug drink all the brandy before you got back to the keep, or did Vrug leave it
He had it
unmolested?
on his shoulder with a straw.
Yeah.
Yeah, I left it alone. I was quite thirsty.
All right. So if you take that to the provisioner, do you take it to the provisioner or do you take it to the innkeep at the Black Main Inn?
Well, if we take it to the end, I'm going to drink half of it and give the other half away. You choose.
Let's do provisioner first.
Yeah, maybe I'll take both.
Wait, are we selling the cheese?
Well, how much of it do you want to eat? We'll save a big chunk for you.
I mean, it's just well, it's a useful thing to have around.
Yeah.
Is it ogre molested? Is it got slobber on it or some nasty stuff?
No, it's got a good thick rind on it.
Okay.
It hasn't been chewed on yet.
Okay, then I guess I'm willing to take some of that if nobody cares for it.
Here, you can have the week's worth of constipation all to yourself.
I'll split the cheese with you.
Yeah, it's way better than MREs. I'm telling you.
So, which one of you is about to cut the cheese?
The dwarf did it.
Yep.
Figures.
I'll cut it if I have to.
All right. So, all totaled, the gold piece value of your treasures is 365 gold. That includes, that is taking the gold piece value of the silver and the electrum and the copper. The copper are the lead washed gold coins. So you're essentially going to ask for someone of authority to give you a reward for these coins, correct?
Yeah, if I'd like them to dispose of them, and if they see fit to give us a reward, for giving up this counterfeit coin, it came into our possession, and we're willing to take the short change, basically, sell it to them that way.
Showing their appreciation for your good deed, they reward you. Basically, the sergeant at arms takes a couple of the coins. He comes back later and says the Castellan extends his thanks to you for bringing this to his attention and not attempting to use this false currency that was so hastily made by usurious forces, and he would like to point out that "Have a nice day," written in Old Sewell, has never been the slogan of any kingdoms that he is aware of. And on the other side, there was no Emperor Zongo. So he thanks you for bringing this to his attention and rewards you accordingly. And he holds out a small cloth bag, a small white linen bag to you, and there are 20 silver pieces inside.
Okay, that's better than
And
nothing.
what was the coin? I didn't get the coin total. Do you still have that, or did Mark get it or something?
Counting that, the gold piece value is 366 gold, and
Then we basically got
there's some change there, so it's like 366 gold, 18 silver, and 5 copper.
Did we figure out that cask of brandy?
The cask of brandy. If you sell the cask of brandy to the provisioner, so you take it to who's talking to the provisioner about this?
Not me.
I know you. You've been in here before. All right.
I think I'm still out of it, so I can't talk.
No, Grimsby, you're not comatose anymore. You're just not adventuring. You're just
Okay.
not.
If I can do the talking, then I have a good reaction bonus. So I will sell up this fine. I think you said it was
Brandy.
from Orlane.
Lane. Yes.
It's Orlane brandy. The cask
Yeah.
is probably about as big as I am.
I'm just relieved you hadn't stolen nothing out of here.
Yeah. All right. He offers you 35 gold pieces for the cask.
40? That sounds great.
Mm, 37 gold.
You drive a hard bargain, but I will accept it this time because I like you.
Of course. All right. So we add 37 gold to the total.
Yep.
And that brings your total haul in gold pieces up to 403 and 0.625, if anyone wants to do the math on how much of a exactly what silver, electrum, and copper 0.625 gold pieces would be.
Well, so 403 divided by 5. Well, 400 divided by 5, that's not bad.
That's not bad at all. And now let us talk. Sit on the ground and tell the tales of the death of ogres, and calculate up some XP for slaying the ogre.
Bam! We didn't have a chance. You got hit from all sides.
Gents, is that how we want to divide that? Just take the 400 and divide that by 5. I mean, we each get 80. Does that work?
Grimsey's not going to complain.
Alrighty. The extra
Works
cash,
for me.
The extra cash, who do we want it to go to?
I want to
I give it to the soldiers.
I want to donate some extra cash to the Duran's god who brought me back to life. If not from that pot, I'll do it myself.
There we go. No, that's fine. Do it from the pot. That makes sense. Alright, so I get an extra 80 experience points.
Speaking of which, this keep must have some sort of a
I have 116 experience points,
station.
guys.
What were you asking about the keep?
It must have a church or some sort of fair.
It does, actually. It does. There is an all good faiths temple here. So it's busy every day of the week.
I look over at
There's
Grimsby.
a lot of
I'm
good
like, shall we?
Yeah, let's go.
So me and Grimsby start walking in that direction. Or we ask for directions to where this All Nations Church is.
Okay. All right. So your XP total for the ogre and the goblins, we're going to give that out too.
Awesome.
And along the way, I regale Grimsby with how Bocob loves magic, and magic's the next thing to godliness.
Grimsby is quickly regretting that he wanted to do this, but he is indebted to you for bringing him back to life.
Hey, magic is awesome. Speaking of magic, I'm going to start prepping read magic, and I'm going to go buy some more marbles.
You were going to cast Detect Magic on the items as well.
Correct. Yes, that's what I meant. DM, by the by, I couldn't find marbles in the player's handbook, but I kind of assumed like a silver for like a bunch of clay marbles is fair.
That's fine.
Thank you.
Okay. The XP total. Actually, I almost forgot the goblins because we have to consider everything. Iron goblins. No, that's Gollum, Bill. That's different.
I'll
Yes,
take the Golem's
please.
experience.
Yeah, right. We'll take that.
You can
There
make
was
that kind of
3 of
mistake.
them.
We don't worry.
Our fighter fought them all single-handed and won.
All right.
Getting any XP for this? I was dead most of the time.
Oh no, you were in the fight, so you'll get XP.
We used your body as a meat shield for arrows.
I found the goblins. There's one.
All right, each of you receives 36 experience points for fighting the ogre. 36 experience points.
Hot damn.
Now, you are casting Detect Magic, and don't worry, we will get over to the temple shortly. Fear not. You are casting Detect Magic.
Sadly, well, I only have read magic, sleep, unseen servant, and shield, so no, I can't. We have to leave it for the cleric to do.
Okay.
So not me.
Does Duran have Detect Magic memorized right now?
It'll have to be tomorrow.
Okay. So you are going to the temple. Just a moment. Let's see.
Something, take me to church, you something,
That's-
dog in the night.
At the chapel.
Going to the chapel. Gonna get married.
Go through the double doors. Push the
Yeah, I
button.
need some salve or something because I'm still.
Spiritual center of the keep is opposite the guild house. The building has a peaked roof, 2 stories tall. The interior is one large room. The altar is at the eastern end, and a colored glass window is above it. The window is 20 feet tall and 8 feet wide. An offering box is fastened securely atop a heavy pedestal in the southeast corner. And, oh, come on. There is a fellow in vestments there. He carries a ceremonial mace on his waist. He is clad in blue trimmed in silver. And he turns and kind of eyes you both up and says, "Good dwarf? Halfling? How may I be of help?"
Good day, brother. We're just here to pay
You're
our
not a-
respects to the guy. I'm not a dwarf though, but
Sorry.
we're here to. My friend here was recently brought back, and he wishes to pay his respects to the gods. So,
I thought I'd give a small offering.
Oh.
pull his purse.
Of course. He gestures towards the box. And remember, St. Cuthbert saith, "A strong billet and a kind word will get you more than just a kind word." Amen.
I go over and light a candle or something.
Okay. All right.
Grimsby will go over to the collection box and take a professional look at its lock and how it's built, and then deposit some money into it.
Okay.
In
It's
case I ever need to know,
yeah.
where's the lock?
There's an emergency. The curate has lost his key, and he
Yeah.
looks at you and says, "Halfling, could you help the church out?" It's good to know.
Yeah.
And he apologizes to you there, Duran, and says, "I'm sorry. You were standing very far away." You may stay and pray and meditate and whatever way your god wishes you to pray. Hey, it's very clear this guy is a cleric of Saint Cuthbert.
I gauge the snootiness of his comments, and I'm just like, no, I'm done. My God's quick and simple. Thanks. Have a great day. You guys ready?
I don't actually want to attract any of the gods' attention. I'd rather stay small and unseen. So I'll just be going now.
Of course, he gives you the sign of Saint Cuthbert on your way out. Yes. All right. So you have departed the chapel. Meanwhile, the rest of you, what is everyone else up to?
Drunk.
I'm using my unseen servant to harass Rue while he's drunk.
All right. Vrug, you reach over for your mug or your glass, and it's a foot further away from where it was before.
Damn it, I thought I remembered where I put it. This happens all the time.
You reach over for the bowl of dried bread cubes. They're a foot away from where you thought you put them before. You munch a couple. You look over for your mug or your glass. It's a foot away from where, and this goes on.
I told the four winds I laughed at them. They did not listen.
This is better than TV.
I don't know. Is there a means for me to heal, or we're going to be waiting here for a week?
Well, a rest in your quarters, of course, will give you a hit points rest back. You could ask Duran to cast Cure Light Wounds on you again, or cast Cure Light Wounds on you. Period.
Right.
Does Duran memorize a detect magic spell for the next day?
Yeah, he sure does.
Can I open up that tube?
Yes, you absolutely can open up.
Over to him. Here you go. Take a look.
Yeah, and then that way, I can cast it. Is there anything in it?
Yes, there is a thick yellowed piece of vellum, but it has written on it in various lines and notes and illuminations. You can tell that these are spells.
Okay, are they clerical, or I can cast Read Magic on it, so at least we don't have to wait a day for that.
That you'd have to do. You'd have to cast Read Magic to know.
That's fine, I can do that.
Okay. Yes, they are clerical spells.
All right, here, cleric. Merry Christmas.
Pass them back. Let's take a look.
Yes, there is a spell of Cure Light Wounds and a spell of Hold Person.
Oh, so these ought to come in handy.
Yep, should.
So is the cleric taking possession of that scroll?
Well, of course, sure does.
He's
Okay.
going to level up faster than we are.
Yep. That's not a terrible thing.
No, it's not.
Having a higher level cleric helps a lot.
All right, so the scroll with two is Hold Person first or second? I forget. Second. All right, so that's 100 and 200. That's 300 experience points to you. Greetings, Gumby. Welcome. So there you go. There's 300 experience points.
So I assume we're all sitting around together. So I start mumbling the words to the
Detect magic
and on the arrows and the vial.
Okay. Where did it go? That is absolutely not where I wanted to. Hang on a second. I lost my place.
Have you seen your owlbear?
Yes, I know where there's one at here in this module, but all kidding aside. Okay, so the arrows and whatever is in the vial are magical.
Does anyone care if I take the magic arrows?
No. You're a resident bowcaster this past one, yeah.
Yeah, that's the main thing, is that if somebody's going to be using it, it may as well be me.
Mhm.
And then we still have this vial.
What should I write about those arrows, though? Should I just say magic arrows? Are they?
Yeah, magic arrows, unknown quality. I will
6
make
of
a
them, right?
as you use them, and yes, there are 6 of them.
Anybody want to take a sip?
However, you do get a
XP buff.
XP buff from that, and let's see what it is. So let's see. Those are under miscellaneous weapons. You receive 120 XP.
Nice.
The bad news is cursed items also sometimes have XP.
Yeah.
Find a deck of cards. Whoever decides to keep it, you gain 1,000 XP. Woohoo! I'm gonna look at the cards.
I mean, to be fair, you don't ever have to use the item. You just have to keep the item. So, like,
Yeah, but it's curse you sometimes don't get to choose.
But I'm sorry, Mobius. You said Duran was tasting the potion.
No, I said, does anybody want to taste the potion?
Yeah, I'll try it. It better be strong.
All right.
I won't drink it all.
Just a sip, Farouk.
Yeah. Just a sip. It's
Okay.
probably garbage anyway.
Yeah, you see Vroog's head become transparent for just a moment, and then it comes back into being.
As I thought, it has no bite.
It's clear we could see through. We could see what was in his head, which was nothing.
Nothing except death and destruction.
So you suspect that it is probably a potion of invisibility.
I'm just saying that could be useful for me.
Well, that's gotta just chuck it over to the halfling. Or I guess.
All right, so who's taking the potion?
Grimsby, unless someone's gonna say no.
All right, well, whoever. All right, nobody said no, so that is a 250 XP to Grimsby.
Yes. Ever closer to that first goal.
So what is Grimsby sitting at?
You said 250.
Yes.
Hold on a second. Math is occurring.
that
No one will be admitted during the dramatic math section.
clicking and ring is brass gears, guys.
I'm at 955 and a half.
Woo wee!
Wow. That's 3 times what I have.
Nice.
If you guys roll,
I need
Well,
300. I need 300 more.
Don't forget
Must
your
have been
10%
stealing.
if you have your stat.
Say what?
Your 10% if your stats are good.
Yeah, that's why there was math occurring.
Oh, okay. I didn't
And that's
know
why
if you're just
there's a half, because I keep track of the fraction.
Okay.
no, you have to drop that. You don't get to keep track.
Okay, I'll drop it.
All right. So, what do you guys wish to do?
Does Grimsby need to be holed up for a week because he was below 0?
It's a couple of days less because you had to. There was a casting of healing, and then there was a rest to cast detect magic and read magic. So there has been another day. So you have 4 days of rest that you have to perform.
How much? If I wanted to buy all these people, the party, like a really fine dinner, how much would that put me back at the tavern?
A dinner, a fine meal. Let's see. Let us go back to the keep and see what is there. The Keep of Chaos.
You trying to make sure I don't eat you?
Yeah.
Good plan.
All right, so I will say with all the trimmings, you're probably looking at a roast fowl, which is 1 gold piece. If you want a roast joint beef, then that is going to be 2 gold pieces. But that comes with greens and boiled potatoes and a good hank of soft white bread and what else?
Stuff that food eats.
Yeah. So two of the roast fowl, 1 of the roast joint, and some beers. I treat you all to dinner, a sumptuous dinner.
What about for everyone else?
That's why I bought 2 fowls. 1 of them is just for you.
I eat 4 fowls minimum.
Oh, that
4
is
whole fowls.
4 fried chickens and a Coke.
4 fried chickens and Coke, exactly. I'll have 4 pullets boiled in oil and a sarsaparilla. But no, that is per plate. That basically that 1 gold piece. That is
okay.
like
So,
1,
2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 of us. I'll say 7 gold pieces for dinners for all of us and some booze, some beers.
Okay. And yeah, that's a couple of gold pieces. Is let's see. So there's 5 of you. 20. That's just they just bring pitcher after pitcher of small beer to you guys.
And otherwise, what's upkeep per day to have a good time around here? Like just hanging out in the inn, drinking whatever you want, eating whatever you want, sleeping where you want, or fall over.
Well, I mean, this is at the tavern, the Black Mane, and
Right.
like if you want to sit and drink for a day, as long as you're not getting out of hand, it's a gold piece, because that's basically the equivalent of 20 silver. So that's a couple of pitchers of small beer. And I mean,
Right. So 4 days upkeep in town. I just want to keep my gold straight. And I'm fine. Vroog's fine. Just hanging out in here and staying drunk until we leave, or whatever.
right on. Khalid says, "How much for just 1 rib?" I don't need a cup. Just pour it in my hand. Just put it in my hand.
So what? I can mark off like 10 gold pieces until we leave, and that'll be sufficient to cover whatever.
Sure. Cool.
Including foolishness.
This
As
is
long as
for
it's
the
not gambling
multi-bro.
foolishness, you're probably okay.
What kind of stupidity would you like?
The best kind.
Yeah, I mean, not the type to divert the adventure. Just
Alright.
random foibles.
Alright, so I'll mark off 10 gold for my week.
Alrighty.
Is it a week? Because then I'll have healed up if it's been a week.
I think, yeah, that's fair.
Okay.
All right.
It's gonna take 2 days to sober Vroog up.
Okay, and last but not least, on the last day, so close, but it is all quiet. Your men at arms. Let's see. It's been a week. It's been a couple of weeks. You're not quite to a month's pay yet, on your men at arms, but you're keeping them paid up, correct?
We paid them in advance, and B, B, last time we divided loot, we just gave them a bonus. And
Okay.
3.625
That was
gold
the whole
pieces.
reason they stayed.
Yeah. So yeah, no, they've actually been paid for like almost 2 months.
Right on. Well, you have their retainer. So at the end of 5 days, if you go and find them, you will.
They never showed up at the tavern. We should have been drinking with them a couple times.
Sure, absolutely. It's a small keep, and there's not a lot to do outside the walls. I mean, you can you'd basically have to take a party in force if you wanted to go down to the river and go fishing, because it's a dangerous part of the land. A couple of armed trade caravans bringing foodstuffs come and go. You guys notice, like on day 3, that prominently on the shelf behind the bar now sits the cask you guys brought. It's been tapped, and he is selling glasses of that Orlane brandy for quite a bit, actually. He is selling that is 3 electrum for a cup of that brandy.
I just cough a little bit. I'm like, oh, that's highway robbery.
Well, I got to try a couple of those, so I guess I'll mark off another 3 gold.
Oh, well, no. It's 3 electrum, not 3 gold.
Yeah, but an electrum's half a gold piece.
Yes.
Right, so if I have 2, then that's 3 gold, right? Is that right?
Yes.
All right. Yeah, I'll have a couple of them.
Double.
And
of course.
Delicious.
Sweet.
I say, does that ogre ball sweat actually enhance the flavor for that, or?
So
That brute got his hands on this fine liquid.
yeah, he hadn't popped one open just yet.
I did something else to it, though. Don't tell nobody.
Somebody put an Orlane brandy on Wave and Mutilations tab, please.
Hey, you bring up a good point, though. Where did that ogre get this nice brandy?
The same place he got this this money, I suspect. I'm guessing that
they lost our game.
They had a robbery.
I remember a couple days ago, we overheard a guardsman saying something about a bandit situation. Interesting.
I heard fishing was dangerous.
Yeah, Grimsby, during his convalescence, will maybe talk to the bartender and find out what other points of interest for tourists in this town. Like, we know about the Caves of Chaos, the caves. Are there other interesting places to go, people to beat up and steal their stuff from?
Well, we've had to the farmers further back west, who, of course, in more patrolled areas, they've had to raise their prices because they're having to hire more guards because there's been bandits on the road between here and more civilized areas away from the Pomarge. But I'll tell you this, there's a rumor that there's a group of bandits south across the river.
Okay.
Can we define group like 2 dozen, a dozen, any reports there?
No one is has really said they've seen groups as large as 8. 8 could be huntsmen, but given that no one's come to the keep claiming to be them, I would wager it's probably bandits, my lord.
Oh, okay. Well, as large as 8, we can deal with 8 at a time. I think. Maybe.
Grimsby has his doubts, but
I don't think any of us will live. We can deal with them.
I see. You have a different standard of success than I do.
Yes, success is me and like 2 other people walking away. Right.
Well, then that's a fine form of success if I'm one of those.
60%.
If there's enough characters who survive to stop the other characters from bleeding out and build a travois to drag you back to the keep on, it's a successful adventure.
I take like the Maryland State test approach to passing students. Good enough.
Good enough. Alrighty, so are you guys going back to the caves? Are you going to investigate around the environs near the keep? What are you going to do?
How does the patrons of the inn respond to our stories? Do they seem to be kind of detached, or is there more?
You talk about fighting the ogres and whatnot.
Yeah, as compared to them complaining about the bandits, if you get my meaning.
Sure. Largely indifferent. It's like, okay.
Yeah, whatever you said, dude.
Yeah. So a man with yellow skin, but he's 9 feet tall. Sure.
We're gonna drag him back over here next time. But I mean, is there a lot of hubbub about the banditry, or is that just rumor kind of stuff?
Well, as I said, the banditry on the longer journey itself has become more of a concern. The fact that there are figures lurking in the woods to the south when there are no settlements or farms in that immediate area is a little bit more concerning.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think for the better of the environment we're in, maybe it's worthwhile for us to look into the bandit situation before we go back to the caves.
You said it was across the river. How do we get across that river? I can't swim.
There's like, I don't know.
I'm not talking to you, Bill.
Look around. Isn't there a ferry or something? Like that's how they get their supplies, I'm assuming.
No, they go on this road. They don't go across the river.
I'd ferry the supplies up.
So the little one can't swim.
No. I could stand on your head.
Aye, you could do that. Hell, I'll probably walk across.
Yep. Maybe we at least go down to the river and see what there is to see. See if there's good fishing.
Yeah, we got a party of fishermen right here.
Yeah.
What do you say we go fishing tomorrow?
I mean, worst comes to worst, we take an afternoon, we hollow out some logs. Do we have any hand axes?
No.
I have one, but it's made for splitting orc skull.
Valid. DM, are there birch trees in the area?
Yeah, there's trees of various kinds. Why not birch?
Okay. Because with birch, at the very least, in about an afternoon, you can have a birch bark canoe up and ready to go. It won't, hold Vrug if he puts his foot through the bottom, but it'll help a few of us get across. And you can run some cross beams across it, so even someone like Vrug could sit in it and be all right. You just have to be careful when you get in and get out. Elves, we do this kind of thing.
Well, let's go down to the river and see what there is to see. Maybe it's only a foot deep.
On the way out, I'm buying some twine and looking for a nice pole on the way down.
Okay.
I guess I'll pick up
I mean, if you want to buy a 10-foot pole, it's only a copper piece.
All right. Yeah, I'm kind of a cheapskate.
I guess I'll
Yeah, I
pick up
guess.
I guess I'll pick up an axe on my way out.
Okay. Just a hand axe, right?
Yeah, the equivalent of, a camp axe. I'm not necessarily interested in using. I'm not necessarily looking for a weapon as I'm a tool.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would be 1 gold piece for that.
That's fine.
Okay. So you can easily see when you depart the keep to the south, and are you doing the usual leave in the morning kind of thing?
Sure.
Yeah.
Early bird catch.
So,
Once we can wake Vrug up, we'll get going.
just rake some very sharp cheese into an egg you're frying in a pan, and whip it up and roll it up in some bread and shove it in his mouth and follow it up with some small beer, and he's good to go, right, Vrug?
That's about it.
Okay, so it is 300 yards down the causeway to the great east-west road that takes you and eventually does curve north and take you to the caves. You can see the river away south. The land rises to the south somewhat, but before it does, it dips down into a large marshy area. Even at this hour, you can see patches of fog on the marsh, but immediately from the junction of the causeway to the main road, it's about 150 yards down to the shore of the river, which is itself, let me see what the scale is here. I might have had my scale completely bonkers, guys. Nope. The river at that point is about 110 yards.
Wow. Is it fast flowing? Is it very sluggish?
I'm gonna say it's fairly brisk. It's not, it's not rapids, but at the same time, it's not like, stagnant.
Mhm.
It's got there's a good current.
Right. And there's no people down here fishing or with boats or rafts.
Not that you immediately espy. No.
Can't smell any kind of smoke or anything. Like from like campfires or.
No, you can't. Now, immediately across
I cast my pole in.
the river, the land rises sharply up into the hills. So you're looking up into a hilly area. It sinks low to the left.
So looking south, we've got hills and a marsh and a river between us and that. Okay.
How wide of a river would I look around?
He said like it was 100 yards.
Yeah.
So if Vrug could throw me over there, if you tie a rope to me, then I could pull you all through.
No, I'll toss you as far as I can. Can't promise where you'll land.
You could go about 2 yards face down in the shallows and hit points from falling.
I'm dead again.
We used to call this the neck breaker where I'm from.
I mean, how far do you think the halfling would fly if we set up a giant tire swing?
Trebuchet. We need a trebuchet.
It wouldn't be hard to build a man powered one with 4 of us pulling on one side.
Of course, TK, you're like, yeah, I know how to do that.
No, actually, it's not that bad.
We could also easily build a raft and use a pole.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you see, that would make sense.
And that's why Grimsby's looking around like, are there already rafts that we could buy or hire?
Is there a ferry that goes across? I didn't hear that.
No, you do not see a ferry that goes across. As far as raft, if you wanted to buy one, you'd have to ask the provisioner if he has such a thing.
Actually, who was it that just bought that 10-foot pole?
Right
Somebody
now,
gave me a spear that I was
Duran
using as
bought
a 10-foot
that.
pole.
Yeah. Okay.
fishing with it right now.
That 10-foot pole is about 3 times as tall as I am. How deep is this river? Could you just poke it down?
Scare the fish.
Gents.
Yeah.
In this, not to go history nerd here, but the average farm boy at 6 years old could build a raft and send it down the river in 10th century England.
I agree. That was my statement.
So
We should be able to do this pretty easy.
Let's go find a schoolboy in 10th century England then.
Why don't you put her in charge?
My point being, let's fell a couple of small
I
trees,
know.
tie them together, and
Frug won't let anybody use his axe.
well, I bought an axe
Nope.
specifically for that reason.
So he didn't say add my axe? I mean, come on!
By this axe I rule.
The morning stretches onward, and it's now the sun is starting to starting to creep up, and it's starting to get a little bit hot as it is high summer in Greyhawk as it is here. So, with the party deciding how to, or if they're even going to cross or otherwise traverse the river, that is where we will come to an end tonight. I want to thank all of my players for return. I want to thank, of course, our audience for sticking around tonight for this fun. It certainly was a lot of fun for me. For the new folks who came in and were watching for the first time tonight, I hope you had a good time. I hope you enjoyed it, because this is the kind of fun that we like to have around here on the channel. Jimmy and Victus, thank you very much for the super. That was quite appreciated. Any closing thoughts, gents, before we wrap up for the evening?
Glad we killed that ogre. I was worried. Frug has a glass jaw at first level.
If it's any consolation, you all do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Grimsby is all glass, not just the jaw. It is all glass.
You were born with glass bones and paper skin.
So thank you, Mark, Doomsword, TK, Kevin, and of course, Mobius. So I think I got you all there. Anyway, you guys have a wonderful evening. Now, they'll be back next week. We play every Tuesday night at 9 o'clock from 9 to 11. Some first edition Advanced Dungeons & Dragons. It's fun. It's educational. It's just a general blast. Tomorrow night, our co-host Kyle will return from his away from the mic time, and that's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to scramble up some random stuff for you guys. Thursday night, we might have open mic. Friday night, yes, we will play Gamma World on Friday night. We talked about it at the start of the show. So again, I thank you all for participating, whether you were out in the audience, where you were in the game. Thank you all again very much, and we'll be back tomorrow. But please do keep your eyes peeled for my owl bear. Good night. I love you all. Take care of yourselves. Peace.
Have you seen my owl bear? Here's to all the weirdos everywhere, in the woods and in the air. Have you seen my owl bear? Should I shave off all my hair? Bobs are all around, some live in tunnels underground. Some are fat, some are rich, some are sleeping in a ditch. Can you ride a crooked horse without a saddle way off course? Naked as a toad all the way to Smoky Joe's. Have you seen a little creep driving fast in his little green Jeep? He smells like fish and brandy, but his rotten teeth look dandy. Take me to the show, I don't care if fast or slow. From action flicks to dancing dicks, just take me to the show.